Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Justin here, and today I've got a camera comparison for you between the Samsung Galaxy S7 and iPhone 6s. So in the past few years, the Samsung Galaxy S7 and iPhone 6s had a pretty big gap when it came to the megapixel count. However, in the latest generation, the iPhone 6s has gone up in the megapixel count to 12, and the Samsung Galaxy S7 has come down to 12. First things first, the iPhone 6s features a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera, and it has a pixel size of 1.3 microns. It also shoots at an f2.2 aperture and has the ability to record 4K video, a new feature that was also introduced in the latest generation. And on the front, you will find a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. By the way, if you're interested in picking up a black titanium D-brand skin that I've got on either of these devices, be sure to check the link in the description section below. On the other hand, the Samsung Galaxy S7 has a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera. The reason for Samsung's lower megapixel count is for larger pixels, allowing for more light to be captured. It also achieves this through an f1.7 aperture and also has the new dual pixel sensor for autofocus. Of course, you also have the ability to record 4K video, and you've got a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at some side-by-side comparisons of the rear-facing, front-facing, and video samples. So when looking at these photos side by side, you can definitely tell that these two phones are amongst the best cameras on the market. What I noticed specifically in the difference was that the Samsung Galaxy S7 was significantly brighter. This is obviously thanks to the f1.7 aperture and the larger pixel size this year. But although the shot is more well lit, in some cases it definitely did overexpose. As a result of that, the iPhone 6s's shots do look quite a bit darker, but in some cases it did result in a better image when compared to the Samsung. As for example, in some of these pictures, you notice that the iPhone 6s has slightly better dynamic range. The iPhone also tends to have a camera that is a little bit too warm in terms of the color balance, while the Samsung is slightly too cool in terms of the color balance. Of course, you'll also notice that the shots coming from the Samsung are also far more saturated than compared to the iPhone. But in more cases than not, it is for the better and does add to the image. So although I do give the edge to Samsung, it is clear that neither of these phones are perfect, and what one is good at, the other one is slightly worse at. Taking a look at some images that were taken in low light, the Samsung Galaxy does produce a cleaner image in both occasions. The iPhone isn't horrible in some situations, but the Samsung is definitely better. As we know, later this year, Apple will be releasing the iPhone 7, and I'm sure they will improve on the camera and low light performance. By no means is it bad in any way right now, but it would only be fair if I did this comparison again upon the release, so look out for that. Moving on to the front-facing camera, both of them were able to capture amazing quality in terms of the color balance, the sharpness. I did notice that the iPhone was slightly sharper, but one thing that the Samsung definitely wins at is the wide angle performance. As you can see from an arm's length away, it does capture much more at 120 degrees. When it came to the 4K video recording, I noticed that both the cameras were pretty close in terms of exposing the shot. The Samsung does look a little bit darker because of the saturation difference, but both are able to capture a really nice and sharp image, with the Samsung once again having a slightly wider field of view. One thing that the iPhone 6s is definitely better at though is its stabilization. I have the iPhone 6s here, and it does not have optical stabilization like the Plus variant does, but at the same time you will notice that there is no jello effect whatsoever when I'm trying to hold the camera, as we've seen here with the Samsung side. But that pretty much wraps it up for my comparison of the Samsung Galaxy S7 and iPhone 6s cameras, and let me know down in the comments section below as to which one you prefer more. For me, it is definitely a hard decision, as these two are amongst the best cameras on the market, and I can't wait to test these with the LG G5 that's coming out soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.